Hello, YouTube and fellow resellers. My name's Kevin, the Stoic Reseller, back at you with part 3 of trying to find the most efficient promoted listing percentage. If you're new here, I buy new and used clothing. I sell on eBay and Poshmark, and I work with my wife as a tandem because I work full time. She's only part time, stay at home mom. So if you're into kind of a more analytically driven, more process driven, result driven, that kind of a reseller who deals with clothing, hey, I'm the man. I'm the man of the job. Watch me. Or not. I don't. I care. I don't care. I just want people to learn a thing or two. But as I mentioned, this is week 3 now. Part 3 of tracking promoted listings. So I've had some feedback. Particularly, one of the feedback was tracking click-through rate. So we will do that week over week. It won't be anything I put on here. But some quick observations before we get into the numbers. I've noticed typically after the 25th, my sales start to dive bomb towards the end of the month. And I will say that I've had I wouldn't say steady sales, but I definitely have had a better result overall, okay? It just feels like sales are still there, but not as drastically up and down, up and down. And so I'll show you here in a second. So yeah, let's get this off the screen. Hit overview, hit that refresh so you know I'm not hiding nothing. So you can see here, we started this a couple weeks ago now. So that would have been what, the 20th? No, it was a lot later than that. This, see, 14 would have been the 17th. So right in here is where we started it. So you can see we're right here. This was the worst day we've had outside of this day, but still 209. But you can see right away we had a huge jump in sales, kind of went back down, kind of went way back up, and then again. So it's more or less a roller coaster. We've had the best day of 668. So our best days are in the 600s, which personally I would really just like to be in the $500 range every day. I don't think that's a stretch, but what we're getting now is significantly better than what we were getting way back here. So with that said, another observation that I have noticed is the bulk of sales, at least 50 to 55% of sales have been promoted. And I'm not sure if it's just because I'm promoting everything, and so the newer stuff that doesn't need to be promoted still selling promoted. But that's kind of a do you trust eBay or not trust eBay type of thing, because if it's selling promoted, that just implies that they pushed it in front of someone and then it's still sold. So it is what it is, right? So let's look here. Let's take a quick look at our traffic, and we are going to do from the 20, where are we at? 20, no, where's June? Here we go. I was like, that didn't look right. The 24th through 30th. You can see we've had, our traffic has kind of stabilized. That's the other nice thing, is traffic is stabilized. Page views have somewhat stabilized, and you can see sales here. But from the week over week, you can see we had a 15% increase, right? Which is pretty crazy. I mean, like, all these numbers are pretty up. I mean, they're just up. So we got to get promoted impression percentage is now 61.8%, which week over week, that is a difference of about 3.4%. Not even about, it is exactly 3.4%. Which, guys, you can't take this first week after as it's kind of the basis to an extent, because we had such a large increase in overall percentages just by going up like 1.1%. Like, we had 900% increase in promoted sales. Our impressions were just sky high, that kind of stuff. We can't take that too much. What I'm more interested in is between 3 and 8 on here. And if I had to guess, I'm going to keep repeating this. If I had to guess, the best promoted percentage would be around 8.4%. And we'll get to that here pretty soon, I suppose. But looking a little closer into this, page views are up 0.4%. Impressions up a whopping 17.6%. The big thing, though, is quantity sold is up 15.7% week over week. We have been consistently listing the same amount of items for the last month and a half. So I can't even say that it's because we're listing more. It's literally been the same amount at 20 per day. So let's see here. We got organic impressions versus promoted. Our organic impressions are up 14.8%, and I'm really not sure why. I'll take it. That's really solid. Promoted impressions are up 19.4%, which, I'm just going based on here, percentage based on the total volume of promoted impressions, not what this is, okay? This is basically the percentage of what we got last week. Now, this is to be expected when you go higher into the promoted listings numbers and increasing your percentages. Your top 20 search impressions, because this is an impression as a whole. So as your impressions go up with promoted listings, these percentages are going to be skewed. But the impression by placement was down 3.5% on the top 20. That's going to be what happens to every single person. If you're promoting at any rate, this number will consistently be lower than the next two. Rest of search slot is up, which is really good. I'd rather see that over this last one. But this is also to be expected. If you watch some of my past past videos, we understand that the non-search impressions, it is what it is, right? So anyways, you can see here everything like that. Let's go back here. Now we're going to get the rest of our data points. We go all the way down here to selling tools, hit our promoted listings. So one thing I will be very honest with you guys is I was doing a lot of this on my phone, kind of like on my breaks at work and stuff. And for whatever reason, it wasn't accepting my promoted rate on the phone. Like I'd select the 4.3% and then I'd go to list it and then I'd come home and check some things and realize that it was doing it at the suggested ad rate. So I don't know if anyone's been doing it on their phone, but I would highly suggest that you go and double check your numbers. So you can see, you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. So we'll do this again, hit apply, and you'll see that this is 4.96. So I had 3 items sell at like over 12% promoted listings, which kind of skewed this a little bit. So take that for whatever you want here. All right. So the number of promoted sales that we had last week was 37. And, I can tell you right now that that's about a 33.3% increase, right? But we'll take 27 divided by 37. Nope. That's wrong. I'm doing it again. But yeah, anyway, so we had 10, right? So you got 10 divided by 27. Gives you about a 37% increase, which is really good. Really good. So that is awesome. The cost, though, this is what's really crazy. So just in fairness, I suppose, guys, I would happily pay someone $67 if they gave me $1,350 back in exchange, right? Now, the caveat to this is that $67 are fees, so that comes straight off my bottom line. But if I get more sales, it's okay. It's kind of the rationale, right? My thought is that eventually this will not become worth it at some point as we get into these higher percentage points. But we'll figure it out when we get there. So my fees were $66.87, and my return on ad spend for last week was only 20.15. That's not a terrible ROAS, but it's also not as good as it once was. But yeah, now looking at our click-through rate, it was up very slightly, basically even. And the sales conversion rate was the other metric that people wanted me to start tracking, which was an interesting one, which is up week over week based on promoted. So that's really good. Average sold ad rate, it's pretty. Eh, I don't know. I guess the most important thing here is we've got 30% increase in clicks. We had 10 additional sales than the week prior on promoted listings. The only caveat is we had to pay more for those. So here you guys go. Here are the numbers for week 3, basically. I had one solid week of this 2.1, which is kind of where we started our basis. And then we had that explosion the second week, and now the third week is, still doing its thing. And I guess to keep hitting home, I would really, just like anyone else, right? You look at this and you're like, man, why are you even tracking this? Because isn't the goal to pay less in fees? And obviously it is, right? But I can't help that, because we all need to probably sit here and kind of just accept the fact that most of the resellers you see on the bigger ones that you see on YouTube, that I've been watching some of them too, just to get some different ideas on how to do this. It's just if it makes sense, and they're promoting. If you listen to them, they're promoting anywhere between 5 and 10% typically, and it's pretty wild. The more successful ones, the ones that are showing you that I had 67 sales this week, and I had 80 sales this week, and I had $2,100 in sales just in one day. Those guys are promoting at 10%. And, I'm not going to lie. I look at that and go, I want that. The problem is I'm not listing 60 items a day either. And so I don't know if I can ever get to $1,000 in sales just on eBay. But if I can, I want to. And I don't really care about the margins, because at that point you're looking at selling additional items at a lower margin, but selling more. It's a compounding aspect, right? But yeah. And then I have 2 other things I really wanted to share with you guys. The first thing is I've been watching a lot of look at this seller, or these are the bolos, these are the things. I just really want to quickly mention, guys, the videos that people share with these bolos, you really, really, really need to do your own research. Because the thing I have to keep reminding myself is what is true for them may not be true for me. And that's kind of what you also need to do in your own business, right? So I see people picking up all sorts of pieces that I would literally leave behind. And it's interesting because I'll watch a few of their what solds and never see that item come up. Why is that? Because it's a crap piece. And, I've also been hearing people talk about other brands or other items or other topics. And a lot of it isn't like what I would perceive to be true. And I've done this for a long time now, and I've seen a lot of things. I've dived into a lot of things, and there's just a lot of weird stuff going on right now. There was another newer YouTuber, I suppose, new reseller. He's only been in the game for 7 months. He's a much bigger channel than me because he's just probably a lot more entertaining. He's actually better looking than me, but he also probably has a bigger following on social media networks. I don't have anything outside of really. I started a Facebook page, but it's and YouTube. So, but anyways, yeah, guys, just strongly recommend that when you see people pick stuff up and they talk about it, do your own research, and as well, what sells in your store may not sell in my store. I've seen that and experienced that. And, it doesn't make sense, but it just does. People follow me because I tend to sell this similar type of items. And, they get notified when I list new stuff that they've saved in their searches. So I know that plays a factor into it, guys. But yeah, the other thing is I really want to start showing kind of my what solds. But I don't want to make a huge video about it because it's just not, it is what it is type of thing. But yeah, let's look at my what solds. I'm going to filter again, and I'm only going to do top 10. So we're going to go custom. We're going to go boop, 24th, I don't know why it does that. Man, I sometimes eBay just blows me away. All right, order total, lowest to highest. All right, so here's a huge bundle order, and this is why I don't mind having a 20% off coupon, because this order was absolutely massive for me. 183 bucks with 20% off. I mean, some Nike shorts, Nike pants, Lululemon shirt, Nike pants. You know, it's just a lot of really good items. Um, 5 items for 183 bucks. That's pretty solid. Some outer known shorts. I highlighted this in a video, in a thrift haul video. These sold within 30 minutes, guys, for $99.97. Frank and Eileen, this tattered denim. This brand is amazing. Sold for $89.97. This Orla Bar Brown, I highlighted this as well. Sold for $80. I had it listed for $100, but sometimes when you list an item and you get an offer within like 20 minutes, and you just are like, yeah, I only paid $7, so I could have held out for maybe $10, but I'm not gonna whine. Here's another bulk order: some Vuori pants and a Free Fly skort. Squirts have been flying off the shelves, especially the athletic style ones or the outdoorsy ones. Another bulk order here: some cool pants for women, some Vuori pants. I find quite a bit of Vuori, $45. This Jackson Quick Dry, sold this for $42.47. These are brand new with tags. I just found another pair. You'll see it in my haul video here pretty soon. But yeah, these are really good, and I've been, so sometimes you find a really good item that sells brand new, and you keep it in the back of your mind, because if you see these in the wild used, they're going to sell for at minimum $25. Some Tech Pack shorts for Nike sold for $40. An Arc'teryx, just regular base layer, $38. Sims, a really good fishing brand, sold for $40. And I guess we can go with over a couple more. Some Nike Go leggings. These are firm support. These are really nice. Very obvious finds. $33.97. And the last thing I'll show here is some Carrots. Not Carrots, but this is an equestrian brand. This was just a shirt. A really nice lightweight for women. Did sit for a long time, but sold for $34. Alrighty, guys. So that's the video today. I hope you all learned a little bit. That is actually not the video today. I lied to you, because there's a couple things we got to do. We got to send these offers. Let's look here. Send. I always send 15% off offers, guys. But what I do at the end of these, just so you know exactly what I am doing, bring this back up. Our next promoted rate is 5.5%. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the bulk order, edit all. Oh, I just recently got over 1,000 listings too. So I've been hovering between 990 and 1,010 for the last 2 days. It's been great. So yeah, what we're going to do here is highlight all of them, bulk edit, promoted listings. Man, guys, this is the highest promoted rate I've ever gone. Okay, for a few years I listed at 5%, and this just kind of blows me. I'm sorry, guys. This just kind of hits me in my soul a little bit, But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do. Man, it's this hard to do for me to press this button now. Can you imagine next week when it's like over 6%? Jesus. All right, hitting that button, hitting apply. We're going all in for this, guys. So pray for me, because I know a lot of sellers are way above this and they're fine, but this is the highest I've ever been. And I'm thoroughly surprised that every week so far has shown positive results, and it's kind of crazy to me that they keep showing good results, because I'm expecting one of these days for these promoted listings to just bomb. Like, oh, you're over promoting and I didn't sell anything, or I just lost money, that kind of stuff. So we'll see. But try it again. One always fails. I think that happened last video too. But all right, guys, we are at 5.5%, and we will be tracking the crap out of this. I'm hoping to get this last 31 days to be positive, and I need this to get over 10,000. That's my goal. I talked to my wife. This weekend was kind of a rough sourcing weekend. I still kind of hit goal, but we are looking to maybe increase our listing goal after our vacation in August. So stay tuned. Next week, we'll be going over the results of this week. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what your thoughts about this are. And until next time, guys, don't forget to rule the day.